I woke up like an hour ago. Um,
Same. Same.
nice. Fucking I feel like I don't drink coffee, but I feel like if I did, maybe I'd be like I'm starting to kind of understand why people drink coffee now, just based off of this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real energy booster. But
It
yeah.
it covers at least some of the sins of the night before.
Mm. All the looting.
Or the
Uh,
rendering, or
yeah.
coding, or the proofing, or the whatever the hell you're doing.
It's like we're on a podcast.
We could do a podcast.
Probably. I feel like uh we should like the devs in general should have like a podcast like once a month type thing.
They should. They tried to do it, I think, on uh, Mood Pixels, but I don't think it went more than one episode. It was kind of weighted towards their mod group, so it's
Hmm.
kind of have the same biases that Mood Pixels has in general, or at least had in the past.
We can make our own.
Not going to make any. Yeah, we could do it. Let's do it. Who here wants to see a bunch of weebs and VN nerds talking about weeb and VN nerd shit on the internet?
Hmm.
I mean, we're all on voice chat now all the time anyway. Why not record it? Call it something official.
Yep. We can make like a YouTube channel for it and shit.
Yeah.
Hmm. I like uh I like Kato's questions.
Kato has the deepest questions.
Yeah.
I don't think they're necessarily targeted at you, but more at a higher power. But you know.
Why not? Why not leave them in the Dev Q&A channel?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna get an answer, they may not be the right answer, but they're an answer, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. Should we wait a bit more, or do you want to start?
It's up to you. Do you want to kick it off, or do we have anyone else coming in? Message you say they're coming.
I guess. Seems like I guess that's everyone for now. If you guys want to keep asking questions as we answer these or I answer these, you can feel free to do so. So.
Yeah, if you have just um, uh, random things that are not necessarily a question, though, put them in the VC context, right?
If they're not related to, I guess, me, then
Yeah,
no.
keep the
Yeah.
questions to Dev Q&A, and keep the general BS in VC context. If you guys could all do that, that'd be great. That way we don't have to keep chasing and hunting for questions.
Yeah, and so if someone asks multiple questions in one message, you can just go through them one by one.
Yep, that'll work.
Um, just say if you're down, you can say their name, like this person's asking, and then you know you can do
All right.
that if you want, or it's up to you.
Yep. All right, let's start this off. First off, we will not go over any spoilers for future episodes. So if you asked a question that was spoilery or why something happened or something was left hanging, it was left hanging for a reason and it will stay hanging. Um, we will assume at this point that everyone has played the update. If you do not want to be exposed to spoilers from the current content that is out, probably deafen yourself now or leave, because we will be going over things that happened in the existing content. So
Hmm.
let's start things off. Lala asks, going to skip the spoilery question. Future tags of the game potentially, or future kinks. Play after the game.
That's kind of unknown, like even for me, because the thing is, I I am gonna like I have some loot scenes planned. The thing is, my story is the focus. Uh, I didn't really while creating this game and this story, I didn't really like think about the sex and all that other shit. I mainly just focused on making sure all my characters were three-dimensional, that everything was written well, that the plot was good, and in that regard, that's kind of why I didn't really think about the kinks. Plus, I don't know every fucking like the name of everything. Like I don't go on like F95 and like look at what every kink is. I guess one kink, I think it's called. Is it called exhibitionism? What the fuck it's called? What is that?
Exhibitionism.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's what it is. What I'm gonna have.
Yep. Yeah, and I think you kind of see a hint of that sort of already.
Yeah, something like that is gonna be in the future, but I can't really go into detail,
Yep.
unfortunately. So yeah. Plus, there's a few kinks that are gonna be in there that I don't think the names are really there, so I can't just name them. If I try it, it's gonna spoil something, so I can't do that.
So,
Cool.
yep. Check. Check. My own question is, what tags specifically will you not have?
Me?
I mean,
uh,
you don't plan on a, you know, hard NTR based game or anything like that,
no,
or
no, 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 no. If
or
there's anything,
or
if
where MC swallows whole one of the LIs.
yeah, I don't
So,
want to do that fucking disgusting shit. No.
no vor, no vor.
No super sus shit. Like I'm not into all that weird shit. To me, at least it's weird.
You're not gonna find out that one of the LIs is his immediate family or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not like Annie's a fucking stepsis or whatever. She's an actual childhood friend.
What are you doing, Step Annie? Yeah.
Yeah, step Annie.
Um, will Ava be an LI for MC? That's something
Yes.
you can. Okay.
Yeah.
Feel free to pocket sand or raccoon tactics. Any things you don't want to answer,
Sure.
or too spoiler.
Mhm.
Uh, and as an optional, do you plan to add trans content in the game?
As of right now, no.
Okay. Are there going to be any more active? Yeah, this is Cumwitch is asking. Are there going to be any more interactive scenes such as the QTE or QuickTime event, such as the QTE with Bryce? I love that a lot. I love a lot more being involved with the MC rather than just reading.
Um, yeah, there should be. The thing is, I'm not a coder. I don't really know how to like. Before this game, I didn't really code at all, so that's the thing I had to learn and deal with, and that was such a fucking painful thing to go through. But especially from an artist or creative perspective, I'm not someone who likes coding like particularly or math or anything. I mean, RenPy is not really math, but you guys get what I mean. Um, but I did try to push myself with the help of a few friends, and I managed to get like the QTE thing going, and I got the phone thing going, and yeah. Long story short, I probably will have more interactive shit in the game. Um, like maybe one thing that's not that spoilery is maybe I'll have something related to driving because it is kind of a road trip game. So I might put in something with the car, but I haven't decided yet. Uh,
Gotcha.
but yeah.
This is also a distant thing. This is also Cumwitch. This is also a distant thing. But will there be bonus content once the game is finished, like extra scenes with different character POVs, Easter egg routes,
Um,
DLC type esque things?
well, okay. Well, not really, but whenever I make the next VN, maybe there will be Easter eggs and stuff. Uh,
Gotcha.
yeah, that's the most I can say without saying anything, like any spoilery things.
Gotcha. Where did the MC get the inspiration for dyeing strands of hair red?
Pocket Sand.
Okay. Exotic Titan asks, favorite scene to write in Chapter 1? Two-part question. Favorite scene to render in chapter one.
Okay, so my favorite scene to write in chapter one. So my favorite scene to write was either the sex euphemisms at the store with the
The mini
cashier.
mart. Yep.
Yeah,
You,
yeah, that shit was like I went fucking far and wide to find those euphemisms. You guys don't even know. Fucking the womb, what the fuck was it? I don't even remember. It was
coordinator.
something with the womb broom or some shit.
Yeah.
Uh, that was fucking hilarious to write. Uh, and I guess also writing the whole Ava party, like just the scene in general was good, was fun to write. Because Ava in general is fun to write.
Mhm.
Um, favorite scene to render was probably the Ava party scene. Just in general, I can't really say like specifically anything about it, but it was really fun to render that, to put all those characters together in the room, and like I feel, and that's like this is near the end of the chapter, so that's when I already improved significantly compared to the beginning of the chapter, because this was already like 3 months of me developing, so I already learned quite a bit with lighting and all that. So in general, I just enjoyed rendering that. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I really enjoyed rendering.
That was more posing, I think, probably than rendering in that case, right? Because nobody wants to render, you know, 6 Gen 8 characters in one scene,
Yeah, for sure. Um, I think, I mean, maybe I can go back to the store scene again, like maybe the whole Liam interaction, not Liam interaction, that is fuck. It's not supposed to be, I'm not trying to get copyright striked by Pink, but that reference rendering that was kind of funny. Well, like I just remember smirking when I was doing that. But in
Yeah.
general, I think the party scene was the most fun.
Yeah, and I see that especially with the you kind of watching your evolution in that game when you were working on it. You know, you kind of started to catch your stride. I think at the and kind of start to figure things out. I noticed when you were at the mini mart scene.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just MC walking around house at that point.
Yeah, the mini mart, like when you go from mini mart to the fight scene and the party scene, it's like a huge contrast.
Yeah, that's what
Like
I.
the
Yeah.
detail, yeah, like the detail and all that other shit compared to you know now.
Yeah.
But when I want to say party scene, I do also include like the Bryce fighting scene too, because that was also fun.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, fucking him up was fun.
yeah, yeah. He needs to get fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see. Red Harlan asks, "Will there be mini games?"
Uh, Potentially, if there is, like, it's not gonna be something that like hinders your progress in the game or anything. But um, yeah, maybe. That's all I can really say.
Cool. What was your inspiration for the animations?
It's a little weird, cause I don't know how to really explain it, but the way I approach like visuals and shit like that, I like in general I'm a very visual thinker. Like I think in movies, kind of,
Hmm.
and I think in like this very abstract type of way, and I take inspiration from literally everything. For some reason, when I was actually like animating the scenes itself, I was thinking of shit like the Westworld intro,
Hmm.
like because just by the vibe and the feeling like you get from the intro itself. Uh, like the thing that I really like about art and films is the feelings that it evokes to the audience, and that's kind of what I was like, the feeling I get when I look at the Westworld intro, how it's all weird and abstract. It's like pretty cool. A little bit of anime maybe inspo too, but not that much. I'd say not that much. Um, for the animation specifically, yeah, not that much.
All right. We have you're already starting to create this game in 2020. How long did it take you to reach 70 plus patrons? Just this week, or did you have supporters before December 2020?
I had 16 awesome, or no, 17, I think, 17 awesome patrons who supported me before release. So yeah, and then over the weekend with I also got a shout out from Super Writer, so that probably helped. Definitely helped. And yeah, so I went from like 17 a week ago to now. I guess I think I'm at 83. So yeah, it's
Nice.
pretty fucking awesome. I'm really happy about that.
Hopefully that keeps going.
Hopefully.
Especially if buzz generates, it's gonna take off.
Yep.
All right, we got a deep one here. What is the meaning of life? This
Fucking
one's from
bitches and getting money.
yeah,
Yeah, that's really it.
very deep question with a very shallow answer.
Yep.
Jake the Maggot asks, "Why you gotta do me like this?" With the peppy ignore.
Sometimes we gotta go through pain to mature as people. So yeah.
Very shallow question with a very deep answer.
Yep.
Those questions are perfect. Will we meet Natalie, Dick, and Sasha again? This is from Zeron.
Maybe. That's all I got. Maybe.
A little bit of pocket sand there.
A little bit.
Barry asks, and if we meet them, will they be available as sides?
Maybe.
Another very, very deep question from our good friend Kato. Can you find someone to love me, hold me, and tell me that everything will be okay?
Um. Uh. I got nothing for that one, man. That's just sad. Yeah.
That's just Kato.
That's just Kato being Kato.
Herrera asks, what is love?
Baby, don't hurt me. That's my answer. I think the next one is Zeron, I think, right?
Let me scroll down to where we're at. Let's see. How many total chicks are there going to be, and the total number of LIs?
How many total chicks? I don't even know what that means. In terms of love interests, all I can say is for now, or maybe forever, we don't know, or I know, but you don't know. I can say Annie and Ava are the only love interests in the game for now.
Those are both PLIs.
Huh?
Are those both PLIs or SLIs? Primary love interest or secondary love interest?
They're primary. They're the main ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything after that is, if I do end up doing something else in the future, just know that they're like not really the main focus.
As of right now.
As of right now, yes. I don't know what the how many total chicks will be, but I'm assuming that's like the same shit and the same question. So, yeah.
So right now you can count on 2.
Yep.
Kato asks, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
I think probably like 700 pounds or some shit. I don't remember the actual answer, but something like that.
Excellent. How deep will we go? Wallrider asks, how deep can we go into the darkness? Will MCC do something bad?
Pretty deep, and
Pocket sand?
a little. And will MC do something bad? It depends on what you mean. I don't mind saying that there won't be, there will, since there is multiple endings, and it is based off your choices, that there is a bad ending. And if you get that bad ending, I don't know if I would want to be friends with you in real life. That's all I'm gonna say.
Lala asks, will MC kill someone?
I have no idea. Maybe.
Lala also asks, where did you get the inspiration to make this game?
That's a multifaceted question, or I don't really know the way I'm trying to phrase this right now, but I guess from a few places, but mainly maybe like it's a little bit of maybe my life. A little bit of anime, a little bit of show like TV shows, a little bit of from other visual novels, but mainly I'd say when I was writing this story, I I mainly was thinking like I was taking like tiny moments from my life and expanding upon them greatly. So like obviously a lot of these things like certain things did not happen to me in this game for sure, obviously. But like the way that we like as like I think all writers like approach their work and when they reference their life, they just take tiny moments and they expand upon them and do their own twists upon like what if this actually happened instead of this happening, like etc etc. And for example, I can say uh like Ava cheating on the main character is something that like when I had my first relationship like years and years ago. I sound like a fucking boomer, but years and years ago, uh I I got cheated on. So in but like I got over it like a year later. It's like we were like really young, like younger than Ava and MC. So and the neighborhood I grew up in and I'm still currently in, it's not like the best of the best. So we were all kind of a little fucked up in a way. Um in our environment and shit. Like I literally knew people who were like selling dope and crack and ecstasy when I was like in the sixth grade. Uh, that kind of environment.
Yeah.
Um, so in that regard, yeah, that's kind of where I get the inspiration for my game. When it comes to like maybe like intense moments and stuff, I again like how I get inspired by like a lot of movies and stuff and like how they execute certain shots and like again like I put myself in the scene like I have to put myself in my character's head in order to actually like make sure the scene translates well and I think that's what brings life to my characters is when I put my head like in their head pretty much. I know DPC kind of does the same from what I read a long time ago. um it's a little schizophrenic sometimes, but that's how it is. And when with those very intense moments, I think shit like anime moments or but cooldown obviously like they're not exaggerated. So I try to think how exaggerated I can go or how intensely I can show a feeling or a thought or an emotion in visual format. Um, uh, yeah. So movies, anime, my life. That's the long-winded. That's like the long-winded version, but yeah.
Cool. Wilson Wonka asks, "Hey Wilson, what's been the best part of the reception post release, and what has been the worst?"
What's been the best part? Post release is there's been a lot. The best part has been the reception. The reception has been overwhelmingly positive to the point where like I was confident, but like I was still nervous and I didn't like I think a lot of people that even some of my beta testers, not all my beta testers, just like one or two, like we knew the game was fairly pretty decent for what it is. It's just like the Ava thing and I just didn't know what people were gonna say or if they were gonna accept a story related game in a genre full of fucking harems and constant sexual content being thrown your way or love interest constantly fucking you. And there was a few people that's cough cough on the forum that did get triggered by the Ava scene and did also not like the fact that my game was story focused and the girls were actually human like acted like human beings and not like sex objects. uh there was that. So I guess I kind of answered already both of them. So I answered like what's the best and the worst. So the best is the reception and the worst is not even really the reception. I don't really know what the worst is. The worst is probably the reception, like I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but you kind of
um
expected that going into it. It just kind of, you know, pulls it home when you actually do get that flashback, or not flashback, that slack and or flack for having that type of content. I mean, you kind of knew going into it it would be there. Just you don't know
I
until it
knew,
does.
yeah. I knew,
Go
yeah.
ahead, Scott.
When I before I released, like I prepared myself as mentally as much as I could. Um, like I was excited. Like I was excited to see the negativity, and I was excited to see the positivity, because I knew there was gonna be negativity, and I knew there was a lot of insults in this fucking place that were not like the shit that I released.
Oh yeah.
Um, and it just is what it is, man. You just you gotta take it with a grain of salt. And majority of the negative feedback, quote unquote, that wasn't actually negative, like it wasn't constructive. I mostly laughed at them. Um, it's nice to just like look at some of the brain dead comments and just laugh, but that's just how it is. So in terms of the worst, that's really it. And another thing about in terms of like the best, like besides the reception, is like the people that have hit me up, and or maybe that is reception. I don't know. I just really, I'm really like it feels. I know this might sound like a little like I don't know how to say this. Might sound a little personal, but like I did like I feel like like this is in a long time. I feel like I actually have like I haven't felt satisfaction or satisfied with something, or quote unquote like genuinely, like you know that deep happiness you get when you finally accomplish something.
Yep. Yep.
I haven't felt something like that in years and until now.
That sort of
And
sublime feeling of accomplishment. That's uh, sort of full of endorphin laced accomplishment. Um,
yeah, it's that thing where you realize that all your work and effort, it wasn't for nothing, and all that fucking hard work that you put in, like it's being appreciated, and everything you were like you were working towards is actually coming to fruition. And that feeling, that deep feeling, is very indescribable. In a way, you got to just experience it to know. And it's fucking awesome. It's really fucking awesome. So
and to extrapolate on that, I mean, you have to, some of that's, you have to look at the community as a whole, not, throwing away all of the shitty people and the shitty incel sort of reactions to stuff, regardless of where those come from. Some of those come from a genuine place of hurt, and some people are just fucking shitty human beings. But you have to look at the community and how open and how, you know sort of receptive they are to all this these games and stuff that come out, and how supportive they can be. And
mhm.
really shows when you put something out there and you see this kind of support and this kind of reaction without, sort of without judgment, or without, you kind of come to them with these, with open arms, to with your something you worked and put your blood, sweat, and tears into, and then they come back to you with feedback and with positivity. And you know it's something that's just, I mean, fantastic, right?
Yeah, like I've done a lot of creative shit where I did stuff, a lot of things for fun, and after a while I kind of stopped because I realized that they weren't leading anywhere.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of artists, creative people in general, have to deal with. A lot of us just have to, or most of us have to just take that risk and try out things. And a lot of the time, it doesn't usually work out right away. You have
Yeah.
to keep trying new things and keep pushing. And I've always loved games. I always loved storytelling, and I think this is a really good stepping stone to see, like in general, for other opportunities. And just like this is like, if anyone wants to make a visual novel, they can do it. They just, like, you just gotta believe in yourself, and you just gotta put in the time and effort, and it'll come. It's not as hard as you think. And the community is just fucking amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think it comes with a lot with, when you make a game like this, unless you're just making a completely vanilla or completely bland uh, harem smasher game, you have to put some heart, you have to put some soul, you have to put some of yourself into it. You have to put your own anxieties, your own fears, your own depressions, your own dark places, from yourself. It's not, this has to be genuine. This has to be something that you have inside of you. So you kind of have to destroy the ego a bit to be able to put that out there and to make yourself vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
You can see in the game that there is some of you in a lot of the scenes and a lot of the feelings, because it's not something completely foreign and alien to you. So you know you have to kind of put that out there, and so you have to kind of destroy the ego. And so putting that out there, you kind of have to be vulnerable, because you are putting yourself out there to some extent when you release that. So I think that comes in the VN dev community a lot, that they have to sort of put themselves out there and be open to judgment and open to possibly being hurt, and you kind of have to ignore the shitty people, but take the positive and take the good things, right?
Yep, like all forms of art, you just gotta take the good shit and the bad shit, and
Yeah.
like all forms of art, you're putting yourself into, at least some part of yourself into it. So that's just how it is.
Yeah, and I think on a lot of other creative platforms, everyone still maintains that ego. So they maintain that ego and they maintain them, they're that self, and so they're less willing to sort of share and to uh, be positive and be supportive. But I think the VN community at least doesn't have that to the same extent that a lot of other creative forms of art do.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Wilson also asks, which LI is your favorite?
I love all my children equally.
Okay. Jake the Maggot asks, will you make a Sage Easter egg?
Will I make a Sage Easter egg?
You've already got one DPC Easter egg in there. I mean, not DPC, unrelated, non-suing developer.
Yeah, just a normal cool civilian NPC. Yeah.
Yeah, it just mysteriously looks like someone.
Yeah. Kato, I already answered these. It's your
Nice
fault for
there.
not coming.
They were deep, and he would have given you the answers to your questions, and you would have been happy and successful in life.
Yeah,
You
you
weren't here.
missed out on literally the keys to success. So,
Yeah.
unfortunate. I did record it, so I am recording it right now, actually. Am I? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just
So,
edit those parts out so Kato doesn't get it because he wasn't here.
yeah, for sure. Um, maybe I'll put it in. Who knows? I haven't decided.
At least, yeah. Well, I guess you'll have to play and see. So pocket sand on that one, right?
Yep.
Pocket sand. There's more Easter eggs. There more Easter eggs. If there's not, nah.
Mm-hmm.
Prowl asks, when you first started to write your script for the game, what was your first step, character concept, setting, etc.?
When I started writing it, when we first started to write your script for the game, what was my first step? Character concept or setting. I When you do this, you gotta think about. You gotta do a lot of thinking, obviously. Like the thing I do often, like I'm doing it right now since I'm done chapter one and now I'm setting up chapter two, is thinking. Like I had to think and sit and walk. Like every time like when I went for a walk or when I sat in my room, and just every time at all like 24/7, I was just thinking, of what the fuck I'm trying. Like one of the first things you need to do is make sure that like what type of game you're going for. Like, are you trying to go for realism? Like, in this context, if you're going for realism or if you're going for that harem, blah blah blah. And you have to figure out what the overall message or point is of your game. Like, you have to figure that out, and you have to figure out your why. Why are you making this game? And not about the financial reasons. So I'm asking, like, you have to ask yourself, why are you making this game? Like in general, like what is it about the story, what is it about these characters that makes you want to write this, and how can you I don't know, I guess write it in the most cohesive, most coherent way possible, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
I wrote like I didn't write my first scene until like after like I answered those questions to myself. I had someone who's not in the server, but they apparently they teach kind of this thing. So I and they offered to help me a little bit, like to figure out some things, and that's kind of what it is. Like you're figuring your why and your hows and all that shit. Your reasoning, your deep reasoning of why this is something that I guess speaks to you. Um, I feel like if you wanted to be truly satisfied, you gotta look. I know this sounds whack, because I grew up broke. I'm still pretty broke, but you gotta think past the money aspect, and you gotta ask yourself truly, does this give you purpose, and like, what is the purpose of your story? Because if you just make something for money, you're not gonna be satisfied in the long run. And I think everybody here should know, like, already knows that, but like, I'm just repeating it. Like, you can't if you want to actually make something that you will be proud of, you can't think about anything financial. You got to think about what you're making is something that truly speaks to you in some regard, and that, like, for me, I want to push the boundaries of adult visual novels. I want to have more story focus. I want to I want sex to be earned. I don't want these weird fucking fetishes that people have. I'm not judging, but it's like it's just not my thing.
And they don't need to be in your story. You know, they don't.
Yeah, and especially for me, like, I don't need them. I don't need them in my game, and I want to be fairly for this game, for this first game. Like, I want to be fairly realistic. So, I mean, there will be times where maybe some things might be a little coincidental, but that's just how it is. But for the most part, like the main stuff, it's mainly story focused. Um, I think I think I came up with the character concepts and my setting beforehand. Yeah, before I actually wrote the script. Um, I came up with uh the main character first, Leo, and then I came up with Annie, and then I came up with Ava. There's something very specific I want to say about Ava, but I can't because that's too spoilery. But maybe in the next dev Q&A, like maybe in chat when after chapter 2 comes out, I can finally reveal like something specific that, yeah, I think you all will find very interesting. But for now, I can't say anything. Um, but yeah, come up with your character concepts. Come up, make sure you have your purpose. Make sure you know what you're doing. Um, have your setting fleshed out. Make sure this is something like make sure like you have realistic expectations. Like this, if you're making a visual novel, um, make sure that you're not like it's good to have big goals. Like I initially I wanted to make something like Bidic level or COBD level, but I know as someone who's never coded and never made a game, I can't just go straight to that. But I can find a good medium, a good balance between having the top tier and something not as top tier. I guess find that in between. It's hard, but
You
yeah,
can use quality to sort of bridge the gap. You know, you can use emotions and feeling and things like that to sort of bridge that gap without having to, you know, put in a lot of mini games and a lot of. I mean, there can be quality regardless of the extent. You know, to the game.
yeah. Um, like I am more artistic, and I love art and I love storytelling, so I excel in that. When it comes to coding, I'm a fucking dumbass. Um, I'm such a fucking dumbass. Like I feel bad for the people who had to help me, but and will help me in the future. But uh, I you guys can probably see I feel like my renders, like I am always criticizing myself. I like even now when I look at chapter one, there's so many things I could see I could have improved on. But I think for a first release, especially after what everyone has said, I think it's decent. Um, and I think I did well in that regard. So if I don't excel in having all these crazy mini games and shit, at least I'm doing well in the art department, and I'm putting a stronger focus on that part. I'm making sure I make sure that part of my skills shines. So if you shine in coding, make sure that shines in the game. Come up with the unique concepts with your code. And if you shine with art, same thing. So yeah, just everything's just a constant improvement thing, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, make sure you have everything set up before you actually write the script.
So to kind of extrapolate on the quality and the thing, are you going to try to maintain something similar in chapter 2 quality wise, or are you going to push any boundaries in chapter 2?
I'm
You don't have
going
to.
I'm
Go
going
ahead.
bigger. I'm aiming to go bigger. I want to add more. There's gonna hopefully it'll be longer. Hopefully. Um I can't really say much more than that, but I'm already like for example for this very first scene, I took an asset and I retextured the entire fucking thing. Like I retextured the grass, the building, the sign. I made it all custom. That's something I didn't really do. I did a tiny bit in chapter one, but not much. For this,
With the yeah.
yeah, and this scene is literally like four fucking renders, and I want it to be so unique that I'm like fuck it. I want it to stand out. I don't want people to be like, oh, it's like I seen this in this game or this looks kind of shit. I don't want people to say that. I want to make sure I produce like the best quality as I can. So um, I'm kind of going all out. So yeah,
And you also did that with your a certain custom asset provided by a certain person.
yeah. I'm also buying. I'm also like paying someone to make a few assets. So yeah,
Don't have to use the stereotypical things like the park or
yeah.
or
Puggy, one of my mods, he's an artist, a 3D modeler, and I didn't want to use the same park that every fucking avian uses. Here, what the fuck is it called? Something Park, Haven Park, I think.
yeah, Haven Park. Yeah.
Uh, I did not want to use that. And so I literally just commissioned him, out of pocket, and I just told him, can you please make me? I did like this really shitty, diagram on like some line paper, and I sent a picture of like the outline, and he's like, okay, I can work with that, and he made it, and yeah,
It was kind of cool to see that process, how you what you came up with and what as he was working on it, uh, to uh, to kind of cook it up.
yep.
Uh, all right, very important question, probably the most important we've asked today. Are you a boomer?
Unfortunately, I am probably one of the youngest devs out here, so yeah.
So, very.
I will say I'm in my 20s. That's all I will say.
So you're a 20-year-old boomer, or in your 20-year-old boomer?
Yeah, I in my soul, I'm a boomer. Yeah.
Okay. Will there? What will the gap be between updates when it's ready? Right.
Yes, when it's ready. I can't really give you a release window because that's just gonna set you up for disappointment. So, um, just know this is for your benefit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Barry asks. Oh, and the boomer question was from Barry.
Yeah.
Barry also asks, how long before you started making the game did you know you wanted to do it?
Like a month. Um, I so I didn't play Avians until January of 2020. I played, but this is like I played Mofi City because I was like horny or some shit. Um,
That's where all very deep, artistic, brooding games come out of. I think
yeah, for sure. That's where all my inspiration comes from, actually.
that and WVN.
Yeah. Um, I played Mofi City in Jan in 2020, but I didn't actually get into AVNs in general. Like I played it and then I just literally forgot about AVNs. And then I in like March or somewhere like that, I have a friend we share the same Steam account and they bought Being a Dick. I played that and then I remember like being like, oh my god, I can be invested in a game about sex and porn and all this other shit. Like you can actually make a story in this. Um, and a few months later, I was craving the next chapter so much that I became a Patreon, and then I came into the server, and that's how I got introduced to the community properly. Uh, and After like I think a few weeks, like a weekend, I saw all this art, and I'm like, how are people making this? And I got the program, I got Daz, and I started learning. Literally, not even 2 weeks later, I started making Annie. So I guess that kind of gives you a rough idea of where I was at because I kind of saw the potential in like how I could actually have a career in the far future if I start doing like dev work in this genre. So I saw potential, and it's still a very small niche thing. And I think if you guys ever want to do it, you can. You'll probably find success. I believe in you. Um, I feel like anybody could do it. Even the most, in my opinion, there are some that are some VNs that are just god awful, but they get support. So if they can do it, you totally can. Believe in yourself, and yeah. So a month. It was a month before.
Gotcha. Uh, Another important question: will Herb be in the game?
Pocket Sun.
Yeah, contract negotiations and such.
Yeah.
Um, do we get to kill someone if we are on the dark path? All
I
right,
have
or after.
I have no idea, my dude. Who knows?
Uh, I think we've already answered this one. Wallrider also asks, "How long is it going? Is this going to be?" I don't know if he means the game or just uh, the next chapter. Maybe you could extrapolate a little on both.
Uh, you want me to extrapolate on the game in general and the next chapter?
Yeah, just
Um,
if you have some idea, just conceptually, it doesn't have to be a. It's going to be exactly 174,000 lines of dialogue long, or just
I am
maybe
aiming,
7 more updates,
huh?
or maybe 20 more updates. I don't know.
I'm not aiming for like, yeah, I'm not aiming for that. I'm aiming for somewhere around like minimum, hopefully, if all goes according to plan, like six ish, or if I end up somehow changing it, it could be a little more, it could be a little less, but it's definitely gonna be less than. I am 100% sure it's gonna be less than like 9 chapters, probably. I'm like very positive about that.
You say
Uh,
that.
yeah, I'm saying that now, but like we'll never know the truth until I actually start developing more the story and seeing where things go. But I have the general plot outlined and shit, so I think like initially when like the first month of writing the script, I think I was aiming for like around 4 months, but I mean around four updates. Now I've already kind of changed it to six ish in my head, so uh it's kind of this thing where I can't give you a definitive. So
That's
it
a fairly short. I mean, not super short, but that's a still sort of short VN. But I mean that's based off of what story you have to tell. So um,
that is
it's
true. Yeah.
so I
Uh,
mean it's going to be kind of probably similar to something to write about in that regard, in that you have a story to tell and you're not going to drag it out into some sort of
that's the main reason why I'm not giving you guys a definitive is because I don't want to drag it out and I want to have every single chapter be concise and filled with fucking story and plot. I don't want to have filler content. That's why it may sound short to you, but there's a lot of VNs that have quote unquote filler or in my eyes filler, and I just don't want to fucking create that. I want to create something condensed and something that you guys will remember when you finish it, and it'll hopefully speak to most of you in some way. And yeah, who knows? Like I'm like you guys don't know how long a chapter is gonna be in the future. It could be I might make an update that's fucking 3 hours. Who knows? I haven't. We don't know the like I have this. I have the general aim of updates in my head, but to reach that, who knows how long each update's gonna be? Some might be an hour, some might be three, or we don't know. We don't know.
gotcha. Um,
Yeah.
let's see. Um, Very, very deep question. Also from Cato. Do you love me?
Of course, I love all of my gay Israeli brethren. So yeah.
But not just Cato specifically.
Uh, Pocket Sen. Kato,
Uh, Go ahead.
Uh, if he sent an emo, I don't fucking. Oh, there it is. It didn't load until now. Rip.
No swimsuit episode. So you're not gonna be true to your anime brethren and
I
go
didn't
swim
say there wasn't gonna be a swimsuit episode. Who said that?
prowl.
Yeah, I didn't. I did not say there wasn't gonna be one. Who knows?
And no 90s sitcom flashback episode where everybody sits around the fire and talks about random things and then brings back content from earlier chapters.
Yeah, you fucking. I'm not. I'm gonna make sure like. I'm just gonna tell you guys the ending of the game. You're gonna wake up and you find out it's all a dream, and MC's actually just this really happy-go-lucky guy and he had a nightmare.
Yeah. He goes
Yeah.
he goes back to his $1 million job and his harem of beautiful women and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
with all the allies in it. So they've already got them easily without any effort and drives away in his $1 million car.
Yeah, he wakes up and he has Ava and Annie on his side, and he's just
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, I had this crazy nightmare that you girls were actually acting like human beings,
Yeah.
um, and not like slaves."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And yeah, he's just super happy and goes on about his harem ways.
yeah.
Um, how many times have you had said fuck or fucking this session?
I honestly don't fucking know, but probably a lot.
Yeah, I don't fucking know either.
Uh,
A lot, but not enough. You can never
yeah,
say
not
fuck.
enough. It's never enough.
I mean, it's pretty much just should be used as every other word if
Mm-hmm.
we could. I mean, it's a universal word. There's no word with more universality than that.
Yep.
Red Harlan asks, how long are the sex scenes and animations planned to be?
The sexy animations, probably. I mean, I don't know how to answer that. I can just say it'll be satisfying. It'll be a satisfying amount. Um, I mean, if I guess I can say for like one of the main love interests, I can say whenever they get their own sex animation, it will be maybe like. I mean, I can't give you a time, but it'll be a good maybe around. There'll be a few angles, is what I can say, and you can change. You'll be able to do multiple positions. So
Yeah,
yeah,
long enough.
long enough, enough for it'll be on loop. So you can it could be as long as you want it to be. You can jerk off until and then hit the come button when you're ready. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get rid of Hank?
Nah,
Yeah.
Hank is everywhere. You can't escape him, unfortunately. Yeah.
Hank is everywhere. Hank is all things.
Yeah. We're all Hank actually.
And I think that's it. Does anyone
Cool.
have anything else? We've managed to talk for almost an hour.
Surprise in Glee.
You gonna be doing another one of these before launch of Chapter 2?
Um, I
After
might
chapter-
I might do a well after chapter 2 probably for sure. I don't really see a point to do this like specifically like the dev Q&A to do it like anytime before that.
Do you
Um,
maybe want to do a Chasing Sunset style sort of press conference prior?
I don't know. I have no idea. Um, I can say that maybe once in a while like I'll come into VC and like chill and maybe stream something, but um, yeah, something like a dev Q&A. I don't know. Our press conference, I have no idea.
Gotcha.
I guess we'll see.
We'll see again between 1 week and 1 year
Yep,
when it's ready.
when it's ready.
Any other questions? Any other thoughts from the peanut gallery? Got people typing. When it's ready, Kato. When it's ready. You missed all the good questions. When chapter 3. Same when it's ready.
When you come over, kiddo, when you come over to Canada.
When chapter 4. Same when it's ready.
No problem, bro.
Kato,
Appreciate
you
it.
can't go to Canada. You got to come to the U.S. Live in my basement and code.
Yep. Just lock up Kato, make him code out my entire game.
Yeah, both of our games.
Yep. Um,
It won't be Derek's basement though, so you're okay.
will you torture Kato?
Only if he doesn't code.
Yep.
And by torture, I mean I'll take away his hummus.
Mm-hmm.
Better code then. I'll limit him to baba ganoush only. No hummus.
Turkish and Greek food is so good. I'm craving that now.
I really want hummus. I want roasted garlic hummus and pita chips.
Have you ever? Oh yeah, you guys don't have that in America. Fuck.
What?
Beef donair.
Yeah, you can get it at
It,
the where they do the on the spit where it
yeah,
rotates.
yeah. And you can either have it in like a wrap or you can have it like with rice and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, like in a pita,
Yep.
or in a wrap, or in a gyro, or yeah, we've got it.
Fucking that should taste so good when you have it with like beef pieces with like rice and sauce
Yeah,
and
especially if it's been
uh
on the spit for a minute and it's got that little crunchy sort of outer shell, and then soft and smooth on the inside.
yeah.
That nice caramelized outer skin because it's been sitting on the spit for a minute.
Mm-hmm. I feel like making these people hungry now.
Yeah, we could just talk about food for the next 20 or 30 minutes and see you know see how many people we can piss off.
Yeah,
I am kind of hungry. I think I
that
want an
is
omelet.
true. You kind of want to what?
I kind of want an omelet. It's only 11 o'clock.
I probably will make myself eggs when I'm done with this VC.
Yeah, I know it's kind of trash, but Walmart has this like Fiesta egg mix. It comes in like a milk carton, and it's just like the liquid eggs, without the shell. But it's already got like the onions and the tomatoes and the peppers and shit mixed into it. So you just dump that shit in a pan and do what you want to do with it, and it fucking tastes, spicy and fiesta-y and dank.
Is that healthy?
Yeah, it's just eggs.
Okay, cause
It's
you
just
know,
liquid eggs. They just basically, when the eggs break or have like a crack or like they look
mm-hmm.
fucking wrecked
Yeah.
on the line, they just take the eggs and then they crack them and then put them into a big blender and then blend them down and then you know put put some bruised peppers and bruised onions and shit that they couldn't sell at the store into it, and fucking eggs, pre-mixed eggs, and you don't have to cut shit up.
Bon appetit, man.
Fucking lazy
When
fiesta,
you
right?
when you're too lazy to crack your own eggs, just
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Pour that I mean, Canadians don't even have to worry about opening milk cartons or screwing the lid off. You just pour it out of your take your little clip off and pour it out of the milk bag, right? So
We have, at least we have. Do you guys not have it at all, or?
it's in the, like, on the border. Some states do that, like, had it at the same time as, like, when Canada, in the certain provinces that we're getting it. So, like, it's in certain regions, but for the most part, like, you don't see milk in a bag. And if you go outside of, like, you go to Alberta and you say, like, where's your bag milk, they're just gonna look at you like you're on fire, because they don't have that shit either.
Damn.
It's just those specific, like, eastern provinces that have it.
In Canada, we have both. We have the carton or whatever, and the
Yeah.
bag. So
I
at
have,
least,
like, way too many fucking kids, so I buy like 3 gallons of milk at a time. So they just come in big ass gallon jugs.
uh, by the way, if you're in your 20s, you're either Gen Y or millennials. I'm not Gen Y.
No, I'm a Gen Y. Gen Y
Um,
means millennial. So Gen Y encompasses basically the first Zoomers um, to Gen X. So it's people who came of age during the millennium, So we're in their late teens and early 20s during or in their teenage years um, during the change of the millennium. So I'm a Gen Y, but I also could be a millennial.
Yeah.
Um, uh, if anything, you're a Zoomer, right, Yusuf?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hold up. What did he? I think Harlan said something earlier, didn't he? Or did he delete it? Harlan, did you
It
delete your question? If you want me to answer it, I could. Wait.
already asked.
The Did I answer that though before the Ava and Annie question? I don't even know if I answered that. Um, I'll answer it again because I really don't think I answered that specifically. Annie is Annie and Ava are not really based off. Well, okay, Annie specifically is not really based off of anybody. I just have a friend who's named Annie that wanted an Easter egg of themselves, so I just used their name, but it's not based off of the person. And Ava, um, a tiny bit, but not really. Like not really. Like she's a tiny bit based off of my ex from my first girl, um, who cheated on me. So in that regard, yeah. Because the thing is, like it's been years and years, right? And we were young when that happened. And I think about all these years later, because I've never talked to her ever since we broke up, and I think about like how she is now, and I think about how people become that way. And that's another thing why I kind of like writing this game or this story or whatever is because I'm a guy who's very psychological, uh, and I like to think about why people do what they do and how they think what they think, and I like to challenge my viewers or the audience, I guess. I think that's kind of crucial with a lot of. I think that's kind of important for all art. Like something I kind of realized. Um, just the other day, I realized that literally this week it kind of sunk in how I found how I was thinking about this. How some writers, when they create something new or they create uh, something that's very different, but it's very like it challenges you in a way or it's thought provoking, and a lot of people might not like it or whatever. I feel like doing that is kind of important. It's kind of necessary because it forces the audience to think about something they don't want to necessarily think about, or things they hide deep in their psyche, or a lot of people they're close-minded and they don't want to think about the other side. So I think in that regard, um, yeah, I went off on a tangent, but that's kind of like that's. I think that's pretty important to writing and storytelling in general. I think it's good to challenge your audience. It obviously has to be written well, but again, the way people perceive writing well is kind of subjective.
Just a kind of a tangent question. Is this game therapeutic for you? Do you get some benefit from it yourself?
The thing is, I am kind of hoping it will be. So, as I made the first chapter, in some ways, a little, but not much yet. And I'm hoping the more I write it and the more I create, I hope it'll continue to do that because I know like actors, right? When they act, they feel it's like therapy. It's like free therapy for them.
It's like
And
sometimes it's free punishment and free
that
free
is
spot
true.
for them, you
That
know,
is true. Yeah, yeah.
especially
Uh,
if they're doing something that they don't either feel comfortable with or they feel, that they actually are damaged by
yeah.
being a shitbag when they're not a shitbag, or rape scenes or dark places or whatever. And they don't always expect to come away with those kind of scars when they go into the character, or sometimes they do.
Yeah, media in general is pretty like we tend to self-insert a lot, right? Um, I was gonna go somewhere with that, but I kind of lost like like I lost track, so forget it. Um, but yeah,
So you were talking about therapy and saying you're hoping it was therapy, going to be therapy. I think kind of.
yeah. I mean, we'll see. For now, it's kind of therapy, but I don't know. Like the I know like a lot of other devs and stuff when they write stories that come from the heart. This is kind of it's kind of a thing that just happens naturally. Where like if you're writing like a hard scene or a painful scene, you're gonna feel the emotions of the characters. You're gonna have to really tap in. And if for example, I will say this like when I made the Ava scene when Bryce came up to Ava, um, while she was smoking weed or whatever,
Mhm.
um, and when Ava decided to go upstairs, I I literally because I'm putting myself in the head of Ava, but also I'm also like the writer and I'm also like looking at it for some reason I went immediately to viewer mode where I literally was asking Ava, why are you doing this? What like I'm so disappointed in you. How could you do this to me? Blah blah blah. So everything that you guys are feeling or you felt, I felt the same way as the fucking creator. It's really weird. But while rendering that scene, I felt that. I felt really bad. I felt terrible. I felt like I got wronged. And
Do you think that was from your previous experience with it, so you could empathize with that, or was that just a brand new, fresh wound, so to speak?
was that like a new experience for me?
What I'm saying is was that going back into the viewer mode when you were working on that? Was that sort of bringing up the old wound of the past experience, or are you completely over that and this was a fresh? Um,
Um, I never really thought of it that way, like in this context, and with this game, whatever. I never thought about it like that, but you could be right. Because
or
obviously,
because you had the previous experience and you're walking through it again, you at least had the empathy for the MC in this situation.
yeah. Like
Or
I mean, I didn't like. I feel like obviously a lot of people think how I thought. But also there are a lot of people who just go straight to this fucking cheating whore, this bitch or whatever. But I'm just like, how could you do this to me? Why are you doing this? Like, how could you do this? Like I'm thinking about the why and the how. I'm not thinking about this. I'm not being very self-centered or I know obviously I know it's
fair.
like if you are self-centered you're right to be in this case, but still, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're I'm thinking about the why in the house and I felt very kind of like vulnerable a little bit when I was making that scene, like rendering it and everything. So sure, maybe in some ways I did kind of recall some of the feelings I got when I was wronged back when I was younger. So who knows?
Another side tangent from the moderator.
No
How
worries.
much of how much of we just hit the 1 hour mark, so let's go a little longer. How much of Yusuf is in MC?
You're a funny guy, Hank. You're a fucking funny guy.
You can pocket sand this, so you remember you can do that.
Um,
Wilson and Kato specifically, want to know this.
of course they do. Because you could just read their mind.
Or their DMs.
Yep. Uh, I will say like look wise, I didn't realize it, but after I made MC, I fucking I looked in the mirror like right after, and I was like, what the fuck? Did I just make myself? And I didn't. I actually did that unintentionally. I maybe it was like subconscious, but when I made MC, I went in with like the specific like, okay, he has to kind of look like this, and then when I made him, I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Did I just make myself? Obviously I don't have red hair, but I have like the long hair and all that. It's actually longer than his right now. I'm probably gonna cut it soon, but that's in that regard a little bit. And in terms of the him in general, not entirely no, but I obviously he's
All
the
in
main
itself.
character. He like his whole there's a lot of things in the game that I personally have never experienced that I'm doing and that I'm dealing with. But the thing is, I've been around a lot of those things. Like I've been around people, I've talked to people who've been around those things. Um, like how I said earlier in this VC, how the environment I grew up wasn't the best, and I knew people in the sixth grade who were selling ecstasy and shit. Uh, So you guys again can imagine that I live in a pretty ghetto-ish. It's like middle. It's like middle. It's like ghetto to middle class, kind of. It's like mixed, but that's kind of how my growing up experience was. I've this very next scene, the first scene of chapter two, is actually something that I've experienced in a more minor way. So it's gonna be a little exaggerated in the first scene for chapter two, but I think I think in some ways I am grabbing some life experiences, and I am, like I said earlier in the convo, I am expanding upon them greatly. Uh, so yeah, that's like the only answer I can really give.
Gotcha. Um, I think that's about it. Anyone else
Uh,
have any? Oh, last very important question. Probably the most important question we've asked today. Which Avenger character would you want to be if you had the chance?
uh,
Deep shit, I know. So take a few minutes to think about this one.
it actually is pretty hard.
I haven't seen the Avengers, so
Hmm. He's not in Avengers, but I like Wolverine a lot as a character. Um,
let's just open this up. Which comic book character or comic book universe character?
well, let me answer the Avengers question first. So, Avengers wise, I guess either Captain America or Iron Man. So, pick one at that point. I like them both. Um, I mean, Spider Man's not bad, but I just like Captain America and Iron Man a lot as people.
Would you say that has to deal with your own vulnerabilities as a person, Yusuf?
Again, very funny guy, Hank. But I don't know. Um, I just think they're kind of three dimensional characters compared to. They're all three dimensional. I think I can relate. Like you said, yeah. I think we're all kind of like that when we were like relating to characters and shit. We're just
I
like that's
mean,
how we connect, right?
Wolverine, Iron Man, Captain America. They're all pretty much invulnerable characters, at least from harm. So, do you think that reflects on yourself?
They all also went through something deep, you know.
Yeah, they all had their
And
own trauma. They all had their own really deep, sometimes very dark backstory.
yeah, like probably said they have their demons.
Yeah,
Like Wolverine is this.
and they also have their own emotional issues that they're still dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
They're not
That's
they're physical. They're immune to physical harm, but they still suffer greatly from emotional damage.
yeah. I think why I said Wolverine as a character in general is because I'm not like super well versed with Wolverine in the comic universe. I've read a few, but I'm not like a nerd about it. I'm a nerd, but just not about Wolverine. But I just I feel like the darker a character is, the more this is not always true, but in Wolverine's case, since he's pretty dark and he's gone through a lot of shit, and a lot of violence, a lot of trauma, um, it's easier to empathize with him and to see someone so fucked up and to see where he is now, or like how far or how much, like how he continues to fight. This applies to maybe all superheroes, but how he continues to fight regardless of all the brutal fucking shit he went through.
Mhm.
Um, that's what I really love about Wolverine. He's like a fucking beast. He's a fucking animal, but inside he has like a very kind soul, and
So
it's like
vulnerable.
yeah, it's kind of like taming the beast type of thing, you know?
Yep. Well, we've gone an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes. So I think we're good. Anything you got, Yusuf?
Mm, no, I think I appreciate everyone who's come. Some people left, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll post the Q&A somewhere on YouTube. I'll have to make a Boketto Games YouTube channel.
Okay. If not, I can throw it up and we can link it on. I've got a gaming YouTube channel too. If you need to host anything there.
No worries. I'm probably gonna maybe post like the phone notes intro up there as well. So who knows?
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Um, yeah. Thanks, guys. It's been awesome. It's been
All
fun.
righty. Well, keep awake and keep alert for more dev updates.
Yep.
from BokettoGames in the coming weeks, days, months, however long it takes. And be patient, and something good's coming.
Yep.
Safe and have a good one, guys.
Yep.
Thanks
Take
for
care.
stopping by. Appreciate it.
Yep. Bye.